A large part of our satisfaction in the time that God gives us here on earth is going to be rooted in having realistic expectations for our lives. And what a tragedy it is when believers end up dissatisfied with God because we come to expect that God is going to make our lives a perfect paradise here and now. Now, inside of us, there is a God-inspired longing for that restored Eden that we look forward to. So it's not wrong to look forward to heaven. It's not wrong to yearn for it. But heaven is, at this time, it's something to look forward to. So if you're watching this video, you're not there yet, obviously. You're living in the time in between. You're living in the time after the fall, but before the restoration. You're living after the promise, but before its fulfillment. And what we need now in the in-between, until we step into the fullness of God's love forever, what we need now is faith. And what the eyes of faith do is faith looks at the brokenness of the world and it sees the good that is yet to come. And there's a great satisfaction that comes from living in the light of the certain hope of our restoration. And if there is to be restoration, then that implies, of course, that there is now brokenness. There's something that needs to be restored. And when you look at what is broken in your life, and what's broken in the lives of those around you, there are two perspectives that you can take. You can, and when you take these perspectives, they're going to shape your expectations. So you can look at things from the eternal perspective, or you can look at things from the earthly perspective of this life only. And 1 Corinthians 15:19, our verse for the day, it tells us which one is the wise perspective to take. It says, if only for this life we have hope in Christ, we are of all most people to be pitied. Now, Paul Tripp says it in this way: when we ask the present to give us what only eternity can give, we end up driven, frustrated, discouraged, and ultimately hopeless. So what he's saying is, we shouldn't expect this life to give us what only eternity can deliver. So how then shall we live now? What do we do in this present, in this life? Do we close our eyes to the brokenness of the world? Do we close our doors and just wait for heaven? No. We redeem the time that we are given here. We live out our present lives in light of our eternal ones. As Paul Tripp says in our devotional today, you get up every morning and you give yourself to doing the things that God says are good. Because you know that if grace has put eternity in your future, then there's nothing that you could ever do in God's name that is in vain. So may God bless you today as you live out your days in the in-between in His name.